Hello, 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 everybody. I hope that everybody's week off is off to an amazing start. Again, you guys, hello, 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 everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Do me a huge favor and put in the chat where you're joining me from. I would absolutely love to give you a shout out. Again, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. It is Tuesday, and you guys know what go down here on Tuesday, wife chat. So do me a huge favor and put in the chat where you're joining me from. I would absolutely love to give you a shout out. And I hope and pray that wherever you are, that you are safe. I live in Maryland, and yeah, we got the business this past weekend. So I hope and pray that you guys are safe and that you're warm because it is I think 4 degrees right now where I am. And so again, you guys, thank you so much for hopping on. Do me a favor and put in the chat where you're joining me from. I would absolutely love to give you a shout out. Okay. Again, you guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope and pray that your week is off to an amazing start and that you are safe and that you are warm. If you live anywhere in the United States, most of the people got some business this past weekend. And when I tell you it's no joke, and I am so blessed that I have some young teenagers, strong young teenagers and grown men in my house that can shovel snow because I was not doing it. Hello, Darnell, how are you? From Baltimore. I appreciate you. Mac from Baltimore. Thank you so much for joining me. I know you guys got the business up there too, since you live in Maryland. Again, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Put in the chat where you're joining me from. And again, I hope and pray that your week is off to an amazing start. And I don't know why my nose is running because I don't have a cold. But anyway, I want to talk to the wives really quick. I'm doing a workshop on February 7th called Reset Her. And it's all about how you can reset yourself and start fresh with yourself. And which, when you reset you reset how you show up in your marriage. And so if you're in a space where you're struggling in your marriage, I would love for you to join me on the 7th of February. All you need to do is go to gailcrowder.com and register from there. And again, you can reset yourself and your marriage without your husband, because the only person you can change is yourself and how you show up. And the principles I'm going to teach are the principles that helped me reset my marriage, because as you guys know, I was the one off the chain in my marriage. Gil wasn't perfect, but my mouth and my behavior was a lethal weapon to my marriage. Okay, so I would love to see you guys at Reset Her, February the 7th. And go to my website and you can learn more about that. So tonight, this chat actually bothers me. It really does. And I'll tell you why. This chat comes from a husband in New York City that's been married 8 years and they have one child. And he says, Dr. Gail, as a man, I hate to admit it, but my wife is verbally and physically abusive. I grew up in a house where my father beat the mess out of my mother, and I vowed that whenever I got married and became a man, that I would never put my hands on my wife. My wife has major anger issues, and she will not seek help, right? Hi, sweet thing. Hello, how are you? Where are you joining me from, sweet thing? I would love to give you a shout out. Just tell me what state or city you're joining me from. Anger issues, and she will not get help. I love her, but I cannot continue to allow her to hit me or talk to me the way that she does. This is my last ditch of hope before I leave. Okay. Now, I did have the pleasure of having a conversation with this young lady and this man today. And let me just tell you, Gail Crowder, do not condone no kind of physical violence. Do I stand for marriage? Absolutely. But you need to learn to keep your hands to yourself, okay? And when a man is being abused, it's very, very hard for them to come out and say that they're being physically abused, especially for the simple fact is that a lot of men are, known to be the abusers. And I'm not saying that that's fair, but what I'm saying is I come from a standpoint of I grew up in a household with nothing but boys. I'm being honest. All my brothers, and then I grew up in a neighborhood that was nothing but boys, and all of those boys became my brothers. And my mother taught me this a long time ago. She said, Gail, if a woman walks up to you or a teenage girl walks up to you, and this is when I was like 10, 11, if she walks up to you and hits you, what you going to do? I said, I'm going to hit her back. She said, so my thing to you is, if you pass a lick to a man, why do you think that he shouldn't hit you back? Keep your hands to yourself, right? So my thing is that as women, we think it's okay to pass a lick to a man because they have been taught not to retaliate. But you wouldn't just walk up to a woman and put your hands on her and not expect to be retaliated. So why would you do that to a man, and especially the man that you say you want to spend the rest of your life with? So my thing is, I don't condone any kind of physical violence on either side, but especially when you are putting your hands on a man and he feels like his hands are tied, especially when he grew up witnessing his mother being abused by his father. And she knew this going into the marriage. And I believe she's taken advantage of her. And I told her that today. So let me just tell you this very, very clearly. I don't condone nobody putting their hands on nobody. And I don't condone no woman thinking that she can whoop some man because he's in a position where he does not want to retaliate. Because let me just tell you, one lick from him is going to equal about 5 of your licks. Trust and believe me, because that's the way they built. Okay. Hi, Leo. How are you? How you guys doing? Hi, Rosalinda from Illinois. I truly appreciate you. I'm Charles Crowder, Sister Jennifer. Okay, I'm Charles Crowder, Sister Jennifer. Charlie Crowder, Sister Jennifer. Oh, hi, sweet thing. How you doing? You Charlie Crowder's Sister Jennifer. Okay, I gotta depress that because I guess you must be. I'm gonna get with you, sweet thing. All right. So you guys, I just want to say that, and I literally had a conversation with them both, and I offered my services to her, but I can only lead a horse to water, but I can't make them drink. But I did have a great conversation, and she is utilizing that her husband witnessed his mother being abused, so therefore she already knows his stance on that, and that's why she's taking advantage of him. And trust and believe me, I was hot as fish grease on that call. I'm not going to even lie, but I am going to tell y'all what to do if you're in a situation. Okay, the first thing that I told him to do, and if you're in an abusive situation, you need to document everything. You need to document the time, the date, what was the situation. If you can record it, especially if you're a man. Because let me just tell you this. I am a woman, but the laws are skewed towards a woman. She could have been there, punched you out, kicked you out, did everything, but you retaliate one time and she calls the police. They automatically are going to go on the woman's side unless you have proof saying otherwise. And I'm just being 100% honest with you. It's unfortunate, and I'm not saying that I condone either way, but what I'm saying is document everything. Even if you're a woman being abused, document everything. And especially if you're a man and you have been taking this for a long period of time and then you snap, at least you have some history and not just her word and not just one knot upside her head and then everything goes downhill for you. Okay, so document everything. Number 2, figure out why you have allowed yourself to stay in this situation. Because again, I stand for marriage, but I don't stand for abuse. And evidently, this young lady has done some crazy, crazy stuff. Now, I was verbally abusive with my mouth. My mouth was a lethal weapon, but I learned from my brothers and being in the hood with the boys, they cut me no slack. So anytime I passed the lick, just like my mother said, I expected one back. And trust and believe me, they did not hold back on me. So I don't put my hands on Gil. He don't put his hands on me. But my mouth was a lethal weapon, and I had to learn not to say all the stuff that I said out of my mouth. Because yes, you can apologize, but you can never take those words back. Okay. So figure out why you have allowed yourself to stay in that situation. And again, he was very forthcoming why he had stayed in the situation, because he grew up, even though he grew up in a household where his father was abusive to his mother, he still grew up with a father in his house, and he doesn't want his son to be in a broken home. And that was what he said to me. Okay. And number 3, you have to set some boundaries. Say what you mean and mean what you say. And today he did set some boundaries. He really, really did set some boundaries. And my thing is, say what you mean what you say. So you're going to document, and you're going to really figure out why you have allowed yourself to get in this situation. And then you're going to set some boundaries and mean what you say and say what you mean, because you was not created to be a punching bag. You're not. God loves you enough for once they pass that lick, God loves you enough. He does. And you should love yourself enough to know that I'm worth more than this. And number 4, I told them both, and I admonish anybody that's in a situation where they are being abused, physically abused or verbally abused, is to get yourself some help. For the simple fact is, you don't have to be in this situation. If it's a financial thing, you figure you have to stay because you have nowhere else. Let me just tell you, it is so many resources out there. And if you need help, you can reach out to me, and I will give you the resources that you need in order to get out of that abusive situation. But there is different hotlines out there. And if you're a man that's being abused, call 888-7-HELP-LINE. 888-7-HELP-LINE. And that is a line created just for men that are being abused in their marriages or in their relationships. You do not have to be embarrassed. You just need to open your mouth and get the help that you need. For the simple fact is that you have to love yourself enough to know that you're worth more than getting hit upside your head and whatever else you have going on in your household, whether it's physical, mental, or whatever. I don't stand for that. And so I hope and pray that this chat helps somebody, because again, your life is worth more than when somebody punches you and then turn around and says, I love you. That's not love. Love does not hurt like that. Is people perfect? The answer, absolutely not. But the way this played out today, I told that man I give him a certain amount of time. And if things don't change, and I even told her that I have to intervene in a whole different way. For the simple fact is, for my licenses, I can allow what they have going on in their household to continue. And she understood, and he did too. Okay. So at the end of the day, I don't want you guys to feel because you have children, there's a financial thing or whatever. Let me just tell you, it is so many resources out there. And again, you guys know how to get in contact with me. You can email me, go to my website. You can go in any of my inboxes on any of my social media. I'm the only one who checks them. I have an amazing team working with me because I can't do everything by myself. But let me tell you, I'm the one who checks all my stuff. I'm the one who comments on all my YouTube stuff. All those things is really, really me. And so again, I want to see you guys win. And if you are a wife and you're in a situation and you're struggling in your marriage, I'm just talking about struggling in your marriage, and you don't know how to rebuild your marriage without your husband having to participate, I want you to join me on February 7th at Reset Her. Okay. Again, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Leo, Rosalinda, Jennifer, and Mac from Baltimore. You guys, I hope and pray that you guys are safe and that the snow didn't, do anything to you. And again, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you want me to do a chat, nothing is off limits. All you have to do is inbox me, email me, and let me know that you want me to do a chat, and I'll be happy to do it. I will never say your name. I will only say where you're from and your situation, and try to give you a tool and a strategy to help you pass that. And again, if you guys need to talk to me, you're free to schedule me. You go on my website and schedule a free 15-minute discovery call. I'm never trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to help you with one tool and strategy that I know help. You guys, I love you guys to pieces. I will see you next time.